much money do you need to retire? Well, obviously that depends on a couple of things. But the thing is, if you're trained in property, say in flips, assisted sales, those type of strategies which bring in lump sums, the number is way smaller than people think it is. We're used to traditional, say more interest rates, for example, on deposit or managed funds. So we're assuming that things will only return us a couple of percent. So we're probably, none of us think we can retire. In fact, the Gardaí and the teachers must be full of people who would retire if they thought they could, because they're fairly mentally taxing jobs. Frontline staff, nurses, of course, doctors. There must be absolutely thousands and thousands of people there who are absolutely exhausted and not getting any pleasure anymore from the work, but who feel they cannot retire until their monthly pension, until their maximum service, etc. The irony is that I can see how people could get down to a 20-hour week on sums of kind of 300,000 to 500,000 euro, even if they're only in their 30s or 40s, but people cannot see that themselves. So how am I suggesting they would do this? So obviously, the type of property strategies I focus myself on are flips assisted sales. So if someone had 300,000 euro, I would be very confident that within a year, say they completed training, they might need a year handover to still do on their other job or do some job. They might decide to source property alongside that, doing flips and assisted sales. I would be astonished if they could create a salary of 100,000 from that 300,000 within, as I say, about a year. Now, it does take, the first few deals are hard. You get it wrong, you're looking at the wrong things, you're factoring in the wrong costs. There's growing pains and there's training and mentoring needed, but there are actually lots of people with most that amount of money saved already. And to me, they'd ring and they'd say to me, well, I hope to go in 10 years' time. So why are you not going next year? Why 10 years? But they're basing their presumptions, I suppose, on misinformation. Yes, if you want to buy a load of buy-to-lets and you're going to just do single-let, which means you're about 10%, you're going to have a while to stick at work to pay for those buy-to-lets. But now if you're going to go into the zone of buying distressed properties and adding value to them and all of that type of thing, well, then you're going to be earning more 20-30% return per annum. If you're going to be able to get stuff that's below market value and you're able to add value and you're able to break ceiling prices when you're selling them because you're really, really good at the business of flips, then you're probably going to generate in excess of 30-35% return per annum, which brings us back to the 100,000 on 300,000. What's the worst thing that would happen? I was going to say the worst thing that would happen is you wouldn't like it and you would want to go back to 40 or 50 hours a week plus commute. That's obviously extremely, extremely unlikely. Find a niche for yourself in property. So there's various areas of property, of course. And I see now, as there's more people in Ireland in property full-time, we're all finding our niches. I even kind of fought myself. I knew I loved flips assisted sales. I love transformation. I love turning the ugly duckling into a beautiful house. But still, when I sort of became aware of the world of property training and all these different strategies initially, I was tempted to get into HMOs, etc. But then when I really take a proper assessment of my own personality, I'm always have my passport at the ready. I want to be free to go. I like project-based work. That's not saying I'll never do any HMOs, but I'll have to do them with the business partner who will be doing the day-to-day stuff. I would do the legal, the finance, the planning, and all of those type of things. So I'm open to joint ventures all the time with anybody. But finding what your number is way, way less. Most people who call me, interestingly enough, are actually under-assuming what they'll be able to achieve in the next 5 years. Because they're basing it completely on a buy-to-let model with single-lets. They're not aware of planning gain, they're not aware of commercial conversions, they're not aware of flips, they don't know what assisted sales are. Don't delay making contact. Pop us a message, pop me an email at business.ie, no problem at all. If you're interested in property, if you're sort of sitting back saying, well, I'm not ready yet, or work is too busy, there's never ever a right time. There'll always be something that's holding you back. But to just find your number is a huge thing, and to know what you're working towards. Because if you don't know what your exact goal is, you're never going to reach it. So I start each year with where I need to be at the end of the year and just work back what do I need to do. I've long stopped saying I'll see what I get done this week. I'll do my best, and I'm ruthless at cutting off the things that aren't income generating. Now, I don't mean friends or family or the dog or anything like that. I mean work activities that just make you a busy fool. They just have to go. I don't have time to be wasting time. Eyes on the prize. Start with your end goal in mind and work back. So I hope that's been useful. That 300 to 500,000 is actually enough savings. That's even without considering the training on, raising investor funds and doing joint ventures with other people like that. But that is actually enough money to leave your job and do property full time, but most people don't realise that. So I hope this has been useful. Pop me a message, any queries at all. Thanks, Catherine Brennan from Intelligent Property.